Good evening. Welcome to ESPN Sports Center. Zuba Mahenti. I'm Michael Lees. Breaking news in this Sunday afternoon. Five-time NBA champion, former league MVP Kobe Bryant died earlier this afternoon in Los Angeles in a helicopter crash. News reports are just coming in. Among multiple victims, Kobe Bryant on that helicopter.
It's hard to believe that it's already been a year since the fatal crash of the helicopter that killed Kobe Bryant, his daughter, and 7 other people who were friends of teammates of Gianna and Kobe Bryant. I remember that day very clearly. I first saw the news on Instagram from NBA memes, where they had a picture of Kobe and the caption read, "Rest in peace to the Mamba." And initially I thought, well, that's kind of a weird joke. And that's because if you remember, literally the night before Kobe died, LeBron James had passed him on the all-time scoring list. So Kobe was in the news a lot that evening for that reason. And I thought they were poking fun at the fact that, because Kobe was such a competitive person, that they were, saying rest in peace because he would have a hard time dealing with the fact that LeBron had passed him on the all-time scoring list. Now, if this had come from something like Adrian Wojnarowski or the NBA on ESPN account or some other NBA insider, I would have thought much differently, but that was the first news that I saw. And if you follow NBA memes, that account on Instagram, you know it's a bit more of a comical account, coming up with great memes for what's going on within the NBA, and rarely do they post anything serious. So I shrugged it off and dismissed it, thinking this was just kind of a subpar post for NBA memes. I carried on with my day and took my daughter for a walk. And when I'm spending time with her, I try to avoid my phone. So literally all of this news was breaking, social media was blowing up, and I had no idea what was going on. I get a text from my dad, who is a huge Lakers fan, by the way, saying he is in absolute shock on the news about Kobe. Thinking clearly, I've already heard about this news because, everyone had already heard about it by then. Before I responded to him, I remember back to the NBA memes post, I instantly open up Twitter and just see my feed littered with rest in peace Kobe Bryant from current NBA players, former NBA players, coaches, and NBA insiders. I didn't know what to think. I stopped dead in my tracks, sat on the sidewalk, and tried to process what I had just learned. So what's going on, everyone? You're listening to Bulls Central here. Hope you're all doing well. I know this is a Bulls channel, and of the few times I've posted non-related Bulls content, it hasn't really been received all that well or performed well on YouTube, but I feel I would be remiss not to do a quick reflection and remembering the life of Kobe Bryant on the first anniversary of his passing. Now, I do want to preface that I really did not like Kobe Bryant. He was probably one of my least favorite players, both as a player and in retirement, and that's because I really just didn't like his attitude. I thought he was overrated because he got to play with arguably one of the greatest big men of all time in Shaq. And when I say overrated, I don't mean he was an average player. No, he is an all-time great, a surefire Hall of Famer, a basketball legend, okay? I just felt that in his playing days, when people talked how, he was a top 5 all-time great, and especially when they would put him in the same category as Michael Jordan, that's when I would put my foot down and I would call him overrated if people were putting him on that level. But I say that because among my friends, I was always known for disliking Kobe Bryant. Yet, when he died, I was somehow very much affected by that. I didn't get emotional or anything like that, but for the rest of the day, I was very somber. I was quiet and reserved. It honestly took me a good week or two for it to really sink in that this had happened and that he was gone. And in a way, I was almost annoyed with myself for letting it get to me that much. A guy I quite frankly despised for so many years, and obviously I didn't know him personally. And as I thought about it more and more, I realized part of the reason why his passing hit me so hard was because it hit me just how fragile life is and the pettiness we have towards people, especially when it comes to sports, whether it's over players we don't even know, that we can have such disdain for them all in the name of sports. Now, you can say what you want about who Kobe was as a person off the court. I'm not going to debate that. We all know, the rape trial that happened back, I think it was around 2007. But at the end of the day, the guy was still a person just like any of us. A family man, a husband, a father to 4 daughters, which of course, one of them tragically passed with him in that crash. And I guess it made me realize how insignificant some of these things are, like arguing about sports, debating how a player is on and off the court. Obviously, I enjoy sports, especially basketball. That's why I have this channel. But when Kobe Bryant passed, it made me realize that there's so many important things in life, much more important things in life than basketball. Basketball, it's fun and entertaining, but in the grand scheme of things, it really doesn't mean much. And I'm not trying to pass moral judgment on anyone, because I love sports and I take it way too seriously all of the time. I'm one of the biggest culprits and I still take it too seriously even after this tragedy. I'm just saying, for me, that's what hit me most by his passing, and realizing I need to take a step back every now and then and be grateful and cherish the family and friends that I have in my life, and understand that so much of what we do in our everyday lives is just incredibly futile. And I don't mean to get all sentimental with this one, as you guys are probably thinking right now, dude, I thought this was a Bulls channel where we just talk Bulls basketball. Why are we getting all philosophical here? And I promise I'll get right back to the Bulls content I've continued to make. I just wanted to share my thoughts and reflections on the anniversary of Kobe's passing, because I do think it is important every now and then to reflect on our lives and what's important to us, and to not take what we have for granted. As far as Kobe Bryant as the player, we always hate the comparisons of him to Michael Jordan. Any Bulls fan is not going to like that, because to be frank, he doesn't match up to MJ's level. Jordan was a much more efficient scorer than Kobe, a better passer, a better defender. But if there was any player that emulated MJ's game and his style of play, those fadeaway jumpers, the impeccable mid-range game, it was Kobe. Kobe was the closest thing to Michael Jordan in terms of his style of play. He was a 5-time champion, 2 finals MVPs, 1 regular season MVP, 2-time scoring champ, 18-time All-Star, a 15-time All-NBA player, a 12-time All-Defensive Team player, which is actually crazy to me. He has that many All-Defensive Teams to his name, because he was known more for his elite scoring. He was a 2-time scoring champ, and of course, a first ballot Hall of Famer, which he will be inducted into shortly. And it is sad and unfortunate that he won't be able to give his Hall of Fame speech. As far as where he sits on the all-time greats list, I do struggle to put him in the top 10 of all time, just because I do think he was more of the second option in those first 3 titles. But when you look at all-time greats, and you have guys that have 5 rings to their name, it's hard to leave him off. I would say it's fair to put him anywhere in the top 8 to 11 range. Anyway, I know this video is a little different because it's not Bulls related, and 2, because it's more philosophical and reflective in nature. I know some people aren't about that, and that's totally fine. I have no issues with that. But I just wanted to share my thoughts and reaction to Kobe Bryant and his legacy 1 year after his passing. I'll be right back at it with more Bulls content tomorrow. As you know, the game against the Grizzlies that was scheduled for tomorrow has been postponed, but I'll be out with a video on another topic. As always, thanks again for tuning in, guys, and I will catch you in the next one.